The future's already here.
The future's here.
You're just stuck in the past.
Exactly. And they want people to be stuck in the past because they're easier to control back then.
Biggs and Boggs.
Oh, man.
First day walking in new shoes.
Hey, guys. Welcome back to your feature handle, Biggs and Boggs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
And we got Spencer on Town Screens. Thanks for joining us today, folks. We like to come at you about once a week or so and talk about some subjects that we do believe will benefit your feature hand. So smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into it. What are we up to today and how can we plan for tomorrow? Julian.
Thanks, Marty. Good to be back. Today, we're going to talk about the transition that is potentially happening in the financial system. The U.S. Is the dollar coming to an end? We're going to talk about it. But first, as always, a market scope.
Ooh, market scope.
Okay, so market scope. Okay, so we're looking at the Bitcoin versus US dollar chart on the monthly time frame. I wanted to zoom out, get you a broader perspective of what's going on since the beginning of Bitcoin. And we know that when the money printer has been on, this thing has done nothing but go up over time. And we just spent the first year where the money printer was off, so the bear market did look a little different. But the significance of this red line that I've had drawn here and said that we could potentially retest came from the top of the first bull run, which was $1,100 today. And at the time of filming this video, we're at a price of $28,154. So massive gains for 10 years. And even from the 2020 crash, which is where the bottom of this Fibonacci retracement level is, and that price was $3,700 approximately. So about a 650% gain since the crash in 2020. Just wanted to show what's been happening over time. And right now we're kind of in this financial transition, and we have the BRICS Alliance potentially settling their transactions and their trade.
Well, it's official.
It's official now. They're going to settle in different currencies.
There's been transactions completed.
And there's a major banking crisis going on in the United States. So if you wanted to know what would happen if there was a financial crisis, if you wanted to know what would happen to Bitcoin during that, this is what happens. It goes up.
Yeah.
Right. So massive gains again. We're I think over an 80% gain from the lows at $15,400, which we call here.
This is exactly what Bitcoin was designed for. Because what I would want to do right now, if it was possible, is let's go back and see what happened in 2008 to Bitcoin. But Bitcoin wasn't invented until 2009, specifically because of what happened in 2008.
The housing bubble, yeah.
So it's like, this is Bitcoin's time to shine.
Yeah.
Straight up. Here
Absolutely.
we go. It's the spotlight's on you. Let's go.
Absolutely. So just, slowly zooming in here as we continue, we had the Fibonacci from the $3,700 bottom in 2020. That was the March crash for the pandemic. And then the 69K high at the end of 2021. So we've now come above this line of resistance again, and I did think it's possible to retest it. We just had the monthly close, and as you can see, we did catch this area of resistance as a rejection on the monthly candle. As of now, we are still just under it, right? So this is a 2-year-long resistance where we had a lot of trade volume and a lot of action going on between the $28,000 and $30,000 mark. So really significant resistance here that we need to break through in order to see more bullish price action. But like I said, the chance of hitting the next fib, actually the fib, we want to get the fib from the bearish move pulled out again, because that's...
Well, even just sitting here for a little while would be nice.
So if we pull the Fibonacci out for the bearish move, so this was the entire bear move for 2022,
right?
And we're now just above the 38.2% Fibonacci
Which hopefully
level.
we can hold a support now.
Exactly. So
even for another 2 months till we hit that red line again.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and so there is a chance that we come under this red line again, just as it has. It did come under there a couple of times after the last run. You can see we had the one major dip, which we've got right now, and then it came out and then tailed back in. So, good chance that we, even potentially come back down to $22,000. But
it's going to go up and it's going to go down.
It's going to go up. It's going to go down. But anyway, things still look pretty good to me. I do believe we could test this red line here, but
With everything that's going on, it's looking pretty good. If you've been DCAing, it actually doesn't matter when you started DCAing at this point.
No.
Unless it was yesterday, you're in the green.
Yeah. Unless it was yesterday.
Yeah. That's okay. If you did just start yesterday, just keep going, because all it is time in these markets, and you will be profitable.
Yeah.
Just don't get upset, emotional, scared out of the market, because that's what they're trying to do. Their whole point is to try and scare you out of the market. They want you to put your money in. They want you to make you feel safe, and really it's a good time to put your money in. Yeah. And they're going to scare you. Don't put your money in.
Well, the other thing to be aware of too is that now during this last 3 years, the American government is now the largest holder of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. They have over 200,000. They have over 200,000 Bitcoin, right? But they just sold some March 14th, which was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And apparently they're going to sell more. They intend to sell more into this market. So that's another.
So they're selling into the 30K resistance.
Right.
Pretty
So
well.
that's, and they sold early last week, like that, or in March 14th. Like that was a bad move, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, they need money.
Yeah, they need money, but they also don't understand. You can tell they don't understand crypto, and they're trading it just like us. You know what I mean? But it's, they obviously see value, or they wouldn't have 200K BTC.
They all they need. I mean, you don't need, but like they're very happy with any crypto that they bought in November, December last year. They've doubled their money.
Right.
So you got to take profits is part of the game.
With basically half the world's trades now going to settle in a different currency, they're going to need Bitcoin as much as we
exactly.
do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Bitcoin is now going to become their safe haven.
Exactly, because they have overinflated their economy. I don't know if there's any recovering from what they've done in the last 3 years.
There isn't.
The amount of time that it took them to sort out inflation through the 70s and 80s after removing the gold standard, and they fucking increased the money supply. It took them like a couple decades to sort that out, right?
Yeah.
And we just did that. On a bigger scale.
Just redid it all.
On a bigger
flushed
scale.
It all down the toilet. All that hard work.
Anyway, so like I said,
generation.
we got this major resistance here to look at. We did close under it for the month. We closed March just under this, right? But we did lick in there.
The brutal part is it's the
times.
people that are 60 and the 70 right now that are ruining it, and they were 30, 40, 50 when they went through it, and they were probably like, oh, this is bullshit, right?
Right.
They were trying to buy a house. They were just getting started,
right.
And now they have made it even worse for the next generation after them. It's like, well done, guys. Hey, it's like that same old thing. What would you say to yourself if you were in a room with your younger self?
So
you fucked up.
Zooming in a little more, I want to go to the weekly here. Now, there's a lot of people saying that this is going to just crash right back to the lows that it did if we don't get above 30K. But one thing I want to draw attention to is I've got this indicator pulled up, and this is this smooth moving average of the 200 period candles, or depending on what chart you're looking at. But it's the 200 period smooth moving average, okay? And we just came above it on the weekly chart, and this is pretty significant. So I'm going to go to the 4 hour for a second. We're going to go back to the beginning of January. So you can see right here was the first break above the 200 SMA at the beginning of January. So we had the double bottom there, and then we smoothed out into January. And when we came above the second time above the 200 SMA, we went like parabolic almost, right?
Yeah, so that's exactly a parabolic move.
We're still quite well above the 200 period SMA on the 4 hour. But we've just broken above it again on the weekly, which is a strong sign. But testing this again,
I think 25 is still on the table.
Yeah. So I mean, this resistance
table.
line here is approximately 25.7, something like that.
But I mean, I'm honestly looking at to go a little bit higher before it gets 25. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 31 before we see a retrace down to 25 again.
So. Anyway, more about this situation with Russia and...
Question is, what is the narrative here? Because everybody, like, obviously the superpowers of the world aren't American, so what makes America special? Why would people think that America is going to stand forever? Like, there's really not much supporting that anymore, right? Like, there's a good chance that America's losing we're seeing America lose their grasp on everything. They're from everything to everything. They're losing their grasp. So,
well, and people are wising up to the fact that they haven't really done a good job at managing anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
and there's alternatives.
Yeah, and there's alternatives now. But the thing with the superpowers or whatever. So like and you see on certain shows and certain podcasts right now, people like really getting into the Russia and Ukraine situation, and people need to understand that the BRICS alliance is an alliance of military, right? And NATO is an alliance of military. So NATO is still a way larger power than Russia is, right? And Russia doesn't have the manpower or the arms to deal with that kind of war front. But if they take Ukraine, they're going to go after something like Poland or whatever next. They'll continue on that front. And they don't have anything against NATO. So if NATO goes at them, like their only option is to exchange fucking missiles. You know what I mean? Because Russia can't really, on a military standpoint, they're not going to be able to compete with NATO. And the BRICS alliance is financial. It's not military.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of things up in the air in regards to what's going on.
Well, it just seems to me like everything's getting ready for something big, right? Like all this shift in power, all this momentum, it's basically a big earthquake, like just getting going, right? And stuff like this happened in 2000, 2001. We know what happened after that. This happened with, I don't know if I should even say their names, but like there was lots of people that wanted to get off the United States, standard, and they become enemies of state. You see them in the media as being terrible people when sometimes they're just really trying to look out for their own people. But in the media, you're going to see that they are a terrible person. They're treating their people terrible, and we need to go in and do something about it. Right. And that's just the reason. That's just so they can get the American people behind them, so they can get those people to vote for them, so they can, they can manipulate the free country for people to make their own choices, but they're not making their own choices. They're just being steered in the direction they want them to go in. Right. And it's kind of like, so now what, right? So now what? Now we see the sanctions on Russia for what Russia did. Right. But that was a huge shot to their own foot, because that opened the door for the rest of the world to say, oh, well, you guys are going to shut off Russia. Well, then maybe we don't want to do any business with you either. If you're just you could just shut us off, or, cut us off too. Why would we continue to work with you if you're just going to play, if you're not playing nice, right? So it's like they must have known that. They must have known that was going to be an outcome, or even a potential outcome of their decision, yet they still did it. So it's almost like we all know how on point Joe is. Yeah. I'm sure he's definitely driving the bus right now. Yeah. But still, it's like, I don't know. He's taking on ramps and off ramps that he shouldn't be, that's for sure. And I just I can't really grasp what is going on or what the narrative is, right? There's no reason for America to continue to be superpower. So is this the beginning of the shift that we're going to see? But where are we going to go from here? Like, hopefully...
Well, who's going to get the power of influence? Because that's what it's all about, right? Yeah. Who gets the power of influence? So whoever controls the currency is going to control the influence over the world, right? So that's we've been talking about it, whether it's a war on currency or...
There's a war on AI right now.
What I was calling it before was a competition of currency. It's a competition of currency, and whoever ends up with the reserve currency of the world.
Okay. So you know what? Maybe it just clicked then. The power of interest is going to be taken over by AI. Everybody wants to know what AI wants to know. Yeah. So just the user. Do you see these people? The user base
people
alone,
like trying to gaslight ChatGPT now, and like telling insisting that it's wrong about everything. Really? And then trying to program it to the wrong answer.
Wow. See, so that's the thing. Like, if you're smart,
the issue is dumb people using AI. Yeah. You know what I mean?
People being cognitive about new technology. Like we've said before, the future is here. Yeah. All you got to do is just join us. Like the way things that transactions work on the blockchain, the way the information and data is stored.
The future's already here.
The future's here.
You're just stuck in the past.
Exactly. And they want people to be stuck in the past because they're easier to control back then.
Well, and they get 200,000 Bitcoin when you're not even paying attention. Yeah. And you're saying that it has no value, but the most powerful country in the world is accumulating it like crazy.
That's the biggest thing for me. It's like, where do you get the impression that it's not valuable? Yeah. Like, where are you finding this information? Yeah. Because clearly you haven't looked or read the white paper or anything about it. And it's the best thing for a person that complains constantly. It's literally the answer to all their problems, but they dismiss it.
Anyway, so if you made it this far, head on over to Instagram. You can click on one of our latest posts here, show you why is Bitcoin valuable. Made a little carousel showing you just kind of the finer points of what does make Bitcoin valuable and secure for our financial future. So if you could head over there, much appreciated. Of course, as always, you can also head over to Twitter at Your Future Hand. Check us out. We're going to do some more updates and things from YouTube. We'll be shooting over there too. So yeah, do the things.
Right on, right on. Well, you guys have yourself a good day. Bigs and Bugs out. Peace.
Oh, man, that was brutal. That was kind of a brutal episode.